All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hopefully, you got some more water or stronger spirits. So we are getting ready now to kind of begin play. I think because I think our characters are kind of decked out. We all got our stuff, all our wises, everything squared away now. So, like I said right before the break, I'm gonna kind of repeat it. So this is early spring, right? Spring has arrived, and why you guys were around, just by chance, you guys were in Plum territory, and while in the neighborhood, you stopped by the mentor of your friend Ash. This is where Ash learned all of their sword skills. Once again, this is, I imagine you guys are, I picture something up on a large hill, very like nice large reddish white purple building, you know, the nice little like wood and paper-ish style around dojo, with like a long kind of switchback set of stairs leading up to it, up on this mountain. That's sort of the establishing shot, and we cut inside the dojo, and we see an old mouse being taken care of by several younger mice, yourselves included. And everyone's kind of just like kind of praying and being very reverent to this mentor.
Ash has spoken many times in the past, loudly and proudly, about having been like trained here, and like this is the person who she learned personally from, and stuff like that. It's like a big deal to her.
Yes. So basically, Karen became ill over winter, right? And it just never got better, and now it's taking a turn for the worse. She said it herself, so in the very calm, actually in a weird out of personality kind of moment for her, I imagine she has a lot of the similar traits as you do, very like kind of firebrandy. She's become more I guess accepting of the circumstances, right? And being like, I know I don't have much time left, so there is something that I want to do. And this is when I think this is like, would you, if you don't mind, Elf, I'd like to kind of do this scene with you.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, everyone else could step in as well when ready. But I think Karen asked to speak to you, privately. Like she ushers you over, beckons you, and tells you. Does she? I imagine has a relationship with you where she still calls you like pupil.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Instead of like by your name.
Everybody who's ever learned here, her student.
So I think she calls you by, like, she says as an honorific, like, star pupil. You have learned so much, and you have grown so much. I am so proud that you were my student.
I'm just like listening respectfully to like the compliments laid upon her. Ash replies, thank you, teacher. It's I hate to see you like this.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
She nods and says, I know. One day you will understand too, when you get to be my age. Listen. There's something I need from you.
Anything.
My brother. Which she has never mentioned family. Right?
Momentary surprise, but still listening.
My brother Uda. He is a doctor, a healer. Or sorry, Jin in the town of Uda. He's a healer. I know I know there's not much anyone can do for me in this state, but perhaps you could heal one last aching wound in this old sag of bones, as she kind of chuckles and coughs. My heart. I have not spoken to him in nearly a decade. And if I am to pass, I would like to see him one more time. I like to see if we can make amends. Bring him to me.
Of course, I'll do anything I can to get him here. Whereabouts is this town where he resides?
She describes Uda is a town that's probably it's a couple days away. It's like maybe like a day and a half away. Especially nowadays with the longer road instead of the old road that goes through the mountains. But you know that she doesn't have much time, and she's been getting worse. In fact, this is like one of the rare times when she's actually like awake, right? She's mostly just asleep, resting. You know, she says to you, go quickly. I fear just like the night, it will pass too short.
I'll leave right away.
I'm not much longer for here. Yeah.
Or I'll leave right away.
Perfect.
You know, and she turns to go and find the other members of her party.
Mm-hmm. And what do you tell them?
What do I tell them? I imagine my first interaction would be to go to the patrol leader.
Yeah. So just for obvious things, you guys have known each other for a while. Yeah, is what I imagine, right?
Yeah.
So I would go to my patrol leader. It's Walen, right?
Right.
Walen. Go to Walen and say, I have a request. My teacher, you've seen the condition that she's in, but she asked to go and fetch her brother from Uda, Jin, he lives there, to see him one last time before she passes, and I would like to fulfill this request for her. She's very important to me.
Sure. I mean, yeah, we could do stuff. We could do a mission type stuff again.
Of course we'll help. How could we not? And I like look at you sidelong, and I'm just like, come on.
But yeah, you're right. We should help your teacher.
In whatever way we can. Yes, good. Yes, I'm glad you're on board. I would have gone without you, and I didn't want to do that, but good. Everybody's good.
Good. No, that's fine. And seen as like you guys like we the camera comes back and we see you guys like rushing down the stairs, and you guys get to a fork in the road, and this is like the actual first part and decisions that we need to make. So there's two ways to get to Uda. All right. As far as it's aware and that's relevant here, we can take the direct route, right? You guys in front of you is sort of like an old dilapidated path that's been overrun and goes up this wooded hill forest area, basically the other hills adjacent to where this dojo is. There is a more well-traveled path though, the new road as it's called, that will be much easier to travel but will take longer as it circumvents the mountains and goes around them rather than over them. There are rumors of weasels in these hills that lend to the danger. What do you do?
I mean, your teacher has not long to live.
We have to go the fastest way. I'm not scared.
Nor I.
I'm like looking quizzically at Ash, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Definitely.
Perfect. Okay.
Poor Walen. He's just like strong personalities dragging along this like leader.
But I'm totally in charge.
I ain't scared. I got a sword.
Right. Onward.
Cool.
The dangerous way.
In order to traverse this harsh terrain, this hill, like imagine it's like heavily dense forested. It's quite easy to get lost on this hill. It's probably even getting close to sunset when you guys set out because there's not a lot of time. You guys just kind of rushed out. it could be quite easy to lose your way. This will be, I require someone to step up and say who is leading this test. Who is leading this Pathfinder test?
It's a Pathfinder test.
Yeah.
Are either of you good Pathfinders?
I've got 3.
I'm same.
I have absolute nothing. So one of
So
you.
not you.
No, I'm like, let's go. Where are we going?
Yeah.
All right, and I'm just like, all right, I got this.
Cool.
Okay.
Let me think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So I'm going to tell you the obstacle here, because it's not a versus test or anything like that. I can tell you the obstacle, and I will let you guys know that this is a complex thing to accomplish. So it's going to be a Pathfinder test followed by another test, followed by a Hunter test. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So the first part here, this Pathfinder test, it's an obstacle 6.
Whoa.
Due to the difficulty of the terrain.
I mean,
So-
okay. So in what ways are we allowed to help here?
Yes. Good question. So I have a sweet little handout
Alright.
that shows all the skills and all of their relevant helps.
Got
So
it.
following along, we're going to look at Pathfinder,
Mhm.
and Scout can be helped by the 3 following, or Pathfinder can be helped by the 3 following skills: Scout, Hunter, or Weather Watcher.
I'm a great scout.
Cool.
I'm so good at scouting.
Okay. So we start then with the fiction. So if Colin, if Walen is the one leading the way with Pathfinder, start giving us a little bit of descriptor, maybe add a little bit of traits, and then Bluejay and Rosie can describe how they're helping, and then of course Ash could maybe step in and help with one of those skills.
I do.
as
I
well.
have some Hunter that I might be able to help.
So okay. So in order to help somebody, you must fictionally describe how you are helping with that skill. It's not just like, here's my die.
No,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, so just for the Pathfinder bit, I guess like I sort of like I'm like, okay, let me get warmed up here. I like look up to the sky and look around and sort of get down on all fours. I assume the mouse guard don't usually walk around on 4 legs.
No,
right?
no, you walk around on 2.
Yeah.
Do we ever decide if you wear those sandals or not? You know what I'm talking about?
No, barefoot mousies.
Okay, bare feet.
Okay.
Totally.
So yeah,
um,
I like briefly get down on all 4 and like scratch at the dirt and then like smell it and stuff and then get back up and I'm like, right. And I look to Ash and Rosie, just sort of like, So any help? You guys?
Well, I mean, if you can find a trail of something, it should be easy to try and follow it through this thick underbrush because it's gonna have broken all the branches and stuff. Maybe if you can find something that's passed this way, we could follow that trail.
This trail is old. It's been here forever, right?
Oh, definitely, obviously. So we should maybe see if there's a newer trail.
Fresh trail. I mean, because we're taking the old path, the mountain path, and it has some possible weasels on it. I'm very sneaky and ninja-like because of the training from my mentor Genji. I'm going to scout ahead and make sure that we're not stumbling upon any bands of weasels in the road so that our path can be more clear and easy. And that's
Sure.
how I'm helping with my scout.
I know
Perfect.
lots about weasels. I got that weasel eyes.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good point. So, you know how I said relevant helps? You can totally help with a wise. That's relevant. So if you're not the person making the roll, with the wise, if you're helping and if you were helping with a relevant wise, you could totally do that and chip in with weasel wise if you wanted rather than hunter or anything like that, which I think you were doing.
Cool. Yeah, I was doing hunter. So.
Oh.
So how much help does help give?
Yeah.
Each help gives 1 die.
And do I need to mark anything to say that I've helped, or
Nope.
is it just
No, this is all on Colin.
okay?
Okay, I just
Colin's-
lost my window. Hold on.
Yeah. Colin
So-
is since Colin is the one designated to make the test. He's the one who's been combining all of these dice here so far.
Okay.
So in the macro, his base is 3. He's gotten 2 help dice so far. You can totally invoke a trait if you wanted to. Once again, like how I mentioned at the very, very beginning of the game, in the discussion, how important checks are, particularly even for this adventure. Using a trait negatively is okay. Sometimes with a hard test, you might just want to kind of throw the test and just kind of just take a -1 dive if you don't think you're going to pass. Remember what I said, because failing a roll doesn't mean you get lost in the woods forever and the game ends. Something else happens. Things change. Circumstances change. It's not like you're trying to climb a rope in D&D and you just keep rolling until you get the 15 or whatever, right? It's things. The game just keeps progressing. Failure is not actually a problem.
All right, so I mean, I don't know. I have 2 help. Should I?
So yeah, you're looking at 5 dice, right?
Roll all successes.
So
and
you
still
need
fail.
to get 6 successes to beat this first part. So once again, looking at this here handy dandy flow chart, here are some things that you haven't done yet. You could use a trait, you could have proper gear, or you could spend your persona point for a to invoke your nature if you wanted to.
We're gonna fail this. I could use determined. I have determined as a trait.
You could use it negatively, and if you know you're going to fail, earn yourself a check in the process. Sorry, I slipped to Canadian for a second.
I don't know. Can I look to Ash for assistance? Advice?
Absolutely.
Ash gives you what can only be described as like a let's get on with this. We don't have a lot of time. Like huff while you're like dicking around.
Yeah. Okay.
basically.
So I use my determined trait, and I don't think I want to spend a persona point, so I'm going to use it positively.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm gonna hold on. I totally think you should if you want, but I'm gonna caution you. Using a check positively, you can only do that once per session. So like you can only use the determine once for this session positively. There's a lot more tests and a lot more things that are going to be happening. You might want to save that.
I feel railroaded, GM.
Spoilers.
I'm trying to help
First
starting.
First test.
Consider
all
it.
six.
It's not a railroad. It's training wheels.
First test, unpassable test.
It's not unpassable, but
Yes, it is.
How fucking dare.
Law of averages.
so
All right. I think I'm.
yeah.
What were you gonna say? Do you have a? Were you about to
well,
suggest something?
here's an avenue, a path of doing something that we haven't talked about yet. What happens if you want to do something and you don't have the skill? There's 2 things you can do. You can either try to learn the skill, which is really, really hard, and you're probably not going to pass an Op 6, or you could actually use your nature in lieu of a skill.
Mm-hmm.
So there are ways, if you wanted to beat this, I will be totally willing to help coach you guys on how to be like, how do you construct a different way? Or if this is like a loss, then I would probably say take it negatively, take the L.
I personally think just like take the L on it and let's see what happens next. You know.
Yeah, I think so too. The stakes aren't like that high at
No,
this
Exactly.
they're
point.
not that high.
Exactly. You guys have no conditions. Everything's hunky dory. The sun's going down. The sounds of crickets and forest ambiance is heard. You guys are kind of like, wait, where? I think this is the path.
You need cicadas, like that cicada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just using my base rating and the 2 helps and nothing else.
Okay.
And
you don't want to negatively narrate how you're determined, even though you may not actually know the path or something. Earn those free checks.
Yeah.
Where
okay.
would we record checks?
Next to the thing.
I think there's a checkbox.
Checkboxes.
Yeah.
Okay,
So everybody
so
starts with 1 check.
Got it.
Because Luke is a the designer, Luke Crane, is a generous god. He gives us all 1 check to start with. We can earn more.
So where do I put that? Either one?
I'm sorry, I don't. No, you start with 1 check, just how you start with 1 fate and 1 persona.
Okay.
It's a resource. Yeah. David Turner in chat mentions how learning how to intentionally fail a test is so counterintuitive for most players. It's especially coming from like a D&D background and stuff.
I just don't see like on the character sheet where I would record checks unless it were like used against next to the trait name, in which case where would that one go? That's my question. Mechanics and like record.
Literally, oh my god, it literally doesn't let you record
checks.
They need to fix that. I would probably just mark it under something like either just I would make either new wise or just put it under beliefs or put it in my age or something like that. Just as another, I'll just use another field for it. You're right. That's so weird. It doesn't let you count checks.
So it's on used against, Kelsa's saying, but we get 1 free one. We just mark 1 of either.
Yeah, it's a bunch of checkboxes. That's exactly where it should
go. Oh, okay. You're gonna use it that way. Okay.
So 1 free one is just it doesn't matter which trait it's on, is what I'm hearing.
Okay. Yeah, you could do it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So wait, but I'm using my determined, right?
Yeah.
Are
you using
now.
it? Are you using it against or not?
Yeah, I mean that seems like the right thing to do here now.
I promise I'm not going to be like telling you guys how to play. This is like the first.
No, I totally need the refresher.
Getting an idea of a refresher, understanding how different things interplay, is kind of a part of the game that's going to get easier and easier the more we play. So that's just what I'm doing. These are training wheels. This is not how I like to play a game at all. Okay. Right? Sure. Let's go ahead.
You know what? I don't even have determined. I was looking at the wrong sheet. So, just like, I think as a leader, I'll use my leader trait, and just sort of like march forward into the brush and like trip or something, expecting everyone to be following me.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back and no one is, I guess, since there was something in my way that was really obvious.
I mean, I've already gone ahead to scout the trail, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ash is doing whatever Ash is doing.
I'm with you. Trying to muddle our way through this path.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do I need to do? Do I need to like show some fail here, or?
Well, you actually have to make the test now.
Okay, I thought I just was narrating prior to that, but
yeah.
All right, so I have 3 helps now. Is that correct?
That would be a -1 for your leader. So it was
2 and now it's
Pathfinder, 2 help, so 5 total, and you did -1 with your leader, so that's 4 dice.
Yep, and somehow I have to get 6 successes off 4 dice. So, don't worry. Once you roll, it's not definitive. The end result after your first roll is not conclusive, is what I want to say. Because there are some things that can happen when you're after the dice are set that can actually change the dice.
Okay, I don't understand the math that happened there. I'm just gonna roll the 3d4. I mean 4d6.
Yeah. Okay, you got 2 successes. Okay,
so now we can move on from this scenario.
Yeah, you have no 6s, so there's nothing you can do to change that, which is fine. Okay, so things get worse for you guys as the sun gets down. You guys are kind of meandering through the woods. The sky opens up and it proceeds to start raining down pretty hard, cold spring rain. So not only are you guys not through the mountain, it is now starting to rain. You have kind of 2 vague options, I could say right now. One would be kind of like maybe finding shelter or trying to make shelter from the rain because it's really cold, or be determined and try to trudge through it and get to the other side, risking illness or exhaustion from going through the rain.
I think that I would choose whatever the group was like had a consensus on, because I'm not gonna forge ahead and leave someone behind.
Yeah,
it's my belief or goal or whatever.
Yeah.
No,
right.
belief.
So like, imagine you guys are you're on this. Make no delay. Let's go. Let's go find this person. And you guys are like getting lost in the woods, like getting turned around. You're like, you've seen that same tree 3 times now.
Ash isn't lost. Ash is just not quite in the right direction. It's fine. Yeah. Keep going. Always forge forward and cut through problems with your mind sword if you have to.
So now, yeah, I imagine you guys probably have your hoods up and stuff through this rain. That's pouring down. Rain as a mouse is really scary.
Yeah, I bet.
Drops are like kind of big. So all right, so we're gonna trudge through. I need each of you to give me a health test.
I'm just declaring what I'm doing. I don't know what the consensus is. I feel like there's not a lot of like. Yeah, okay. Health test.
Yeah.
If anybody
Cohesion.
if anybody has any problems,
cohesion comes from playing a little bit. We literally just started a game. It's always like this. It's only awkward if you make it awkward.
Well, you elected a young, inexperienced leader, patrol mouse, so you brought this upon yourselves.
I am just going with the flow. I'm being helpful.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're gonna continue forward. All right, let's do this. I'm all for it.
Yep. So Silden in chat mentions that somebody has a particularly apt wise that could be useful if you wanted to do the other.
I'm not about to use hidey hole wise when my master might die before I can get the brother if I wait around for the rain to stop. So
cool.
I can't do it.
Yeah. So then you guys have to like really, be tough and cool here as you march through the rain, trying to get through off this hill to Uda, right? So, go ahead and give me. This is an OB3 health test.
Okay, so
no one can help each other on an OB3 test. All 3 of you must take this because you're individually suffering from the rain.
Okay, so I would just go to dice and test my health.
Yep.
And I have however many health die I have, and that's it. Nothing can help me here.
You can use a trait if you think it would be applicable. If you had, I don't think your cloak counts as supplies for this. It may in Torchbearer, it doesn't here. So yeah, it's just pretty much straight dice. You couldn't. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna save my trait invocation for
later on.
Later.
Cool. Yep.
So it's an OB3, you said?
Mm-hmm. And this is for everybody to do.
Why did it not go?
Did you put a modifier in the number, like plus or something, instead of just the raw number? The raw value? Oh. Is it just being a goof?
Maybe.
Okay. Fails, fail.
I managed it.
And no one got any 6s. Because if you got 6s, you could potentially modify it.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Okay, you got 2 successes, and you also got 2 6s. So let's highlight you for a moment, Bluejay.
Okay.
So technically, all 3 of you have failed so far. But Bluejay, you might have an option so you don't fail, and I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
So this is if we're following the flow chart here, we're at the.
Sorry. Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead.
We're at the after the roll phase. So here are some things that can happen. If you have a relevant wise, you could invoke that by spending a fate to reroll one of those dice that betrayed you by not being a success. You could spend your persona to reroll all failures if you have a relevant wise. Or you could spend a fate point to reroll any 6 that came up. And when you do that, it basically can explode. So you could, that if you rolled another 6 off that 6, you would roll it again. And they just keep counting successes.
Wait, why would I want to reroll 6s?
because you're right now failing that test, and you rolled 2 6s.
So I would keep those 2 successes and then re-roll one of them to try and get another success.
You would actually re-roll all 6s. So you keep your 2 successes, right?
Okay.
And if you spend a fate, then you basically get to add 2 additional dice to the test. That should they happen to also become a 6, you get to add that die to the test also, and it just keeps building if you roll really well.
What if they're just a regular success?
Then it just counts as to a success, which is
okay. Good. So I could re-roll with a fate die, or re-roll all failures with persona, or add a wise that is applicable. But those are the only ways to boost this up.
Yes. So both of those, the re-roll 1 failure or re-roll all failures, that's from a wise. Wise is just the failure part. Fates help the success part, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So 6s are really good.
I would have to have an applicable wise and spend a point.
Yeah, for that part. But if you just want to re-roll the 6s, like the success part, you can totally just do that. Anyone can do that, right?
Do I have to spend points for that?
Yeah, you would spend 1 fate point to just basically re-roll both of those 6s to add to your current pool of successes.
Maybe or I could keep my fate point and suffer like the rest of the team.
Totally. That's totally an option.
I am going to, I think, what is it? I would spend, I don't think I have, unless herb wise, maybe I find something like along the path that I know will give me energy.
Yeah.
And
some spicy peppers.
Yeah, some peppermint or something along the path that gives me energy, and I use that to keep myself like from falling behind. So would that be using a wise, and then I could re-roll 1 failure with a fate point?
Yes, you could.
Or I could use a fate point to re-roll both my 6s.
Correct.
Which would be more helpful.
I think using a fate to re-roll both your 6s would be better because you get to roll 2 dice.
Okay.
And hoping one of those becomes a 4, 5, or 6.
Okay, well, I will do that. I'm going to re-roll 2 6s with a fate point. 2d6 and cross my fingers, hope to die. Yeah,
I appreciate. Oh my god!
Wow.
So then you roll it again because they both came up 6s.
I don't have to spend another point.
No, this is the beauty of opening the 6s. So then they keep going. That other 6 keeps going.
So just 1d6 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3. Okay. See, so your 2 successes exploded into 5 successes. Okay, so you succeeded on the obstacle, and that's how that works. That's the weird part of the swinginess of the game. Sometimes is that sometimes you can have a huge pool and suck, and then re-roll all these dice, or sometimes you have a small pool and somehow miracles are achieved. Okay, so that was really awesome. Thank you so much for gritting your teeth there. You are totally fine. Awesome,
but I don't have
great job
anymore.
No, you do not. But you can earn fate at the end of the game through the series of experience questions that happen at the end. Okay, so for the next
fall behind.
So do I mark? No. Do I mark a pass on health?
Yes, you do. As just how everyone else marks a fail on health.
Okay.
And just how also Colin, you should have marked a fail on Pathfinder.
Gotcha.
Remember, because we are learning. That's how you learn. Right. So that's really
by
good.
Being the best.
Yes. Cool. So everyone but Bluejay, right? So Bluejay is fine as we make it out of these dense forested hills. Everyone else, though, feels very tired and exhausted from marching through the night through this cold. So
I just want to point out that I had not been acting tired and exhausted, even though I totally am. Like just drenched, but like refusing to like pull my cloak up over, just to like try to like retain some semblance of like my leadership role.
Yep.
I think that's why.
Before I forget, also everyone who helped with Pathfinder, go ahead and mark a failure that you learned as well.
For the skill we used to help with, or the Pathfinder?
With Pathfinder. All right. So
that's a failure for the Pathfinder and not for the whatever you helped with?
I believe so.
Okay.
because I know that's a tricky thing that's changed from Torchbearer. But go ahead and so then Walen and Ash, you've earned the tired condition. So on your character sheet under conditions, these are your hit points. Rather than having 10 to 0, you get angry, you get hungry, you get injured, you get sick. And this is what happens through the game. Okay? So as a result of marching through night in the cold, you two have become tired. Mechanically tired comes into play in something called a conflict, which we haven't seen yet, which we might see in a little bit. Because as you guys make your way out through the woods, you come across a kind of rough sight. A small supply wagon has been tipped over. Large, no bodies are around, but you see that supplies have been scattered and rummaged all around. You see 2 large bodies, larger than mice, with their backs towards you, kind of like scraping and looking around, through the supplies, looking for anything valuable.
I draw my sword.
By their scent, you know them to be weasels.
I draw my sword and I strike.
Yeah.
Weasels are the enemy of mouse kind. They must be destroyed.
I'm like, whoa, Ash.
Whoa.
We should draw our swords.
Okay.
So do.
Yes. Okay. All right. So you see these weasels. They turn around right at your guys' sight as you kind of charge down the hill at them, and we're gonna enter a fight conflict in just a moment. But descriptively, you see them turn around and you see them. You see their faces. Rather than having a weasel face, they wear masks. They wear Oni masks, right on their face as the weasels snarl and go to grab from their belt a dagger themselves. So there's 2 weasels against the 3 of you, and we're going to be entering what's called a fight conflict. So we're going to fight now. So I'm going to bring you guys over to this screen, and we're going to be doing some cool conflicts. Okay.
Die,
So,
you monstrous weasels.
In the handout section over here, I have a little thing called a conflict helper. This gives you also a little walkthrough of what's going on, right? And this gives us a step-by-step of what's happening, okay? So the first thing we have to do is determine the conflict type, which, surprise, is a fight conflict. Because we are fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
The teams are kind of already set. It's going to be us versus the weasels. So that one's also kind of a gimme. The next step here is the interesting part. Now we're going to write our goals. And this is important because in this game of a conflict, you can think of a conflict as a very gritty compromise generator. Basically, you are trying to achieve something. The weasels are trying to achieve something. Usually by the end of a conflict, we both end up having to compromise because our conflict's hit points have been hurt. And when that happens, that means it's going to be a little bit of give and take. What that ends up looking like is totally up in the air based on what happens through the conflict. Okay. So, but just in the broad 20,000 foot level, what we're doing here is instead of doing a single roll versus roll, we're doing this sort of elaborate sort of in-depth fight scene. The fight music turns on in this scene, and here comes the cool fighting animation. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's what we need to start looking at. We have to determine a conflict captain and what our goal is going to be for this. Okay. So this is a fighting conflict, so we know we're going to fight. And an example, perhaps, of a goal would be kill the weasels, kill both weasels. Another example of a goal could be drive the weasels off with no harm happening to us, right? These are example of goals, and one of you will be the leader of this conflict. They're not making all of the roles. They're just the person who has to make the hard decisions sometimes. And that's going to be one of you 3. Who do we think it is? Do we think it... For me, I think maybe the person leading the charge might end up just kind of being it, and you guys end up having to improvise off them.
Ash.
Fictionally,
Ash should...
but it's totally up to you.
I feel like it's Ash because Ash is just darting in there.
It's definitely Ash.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you a bunch of cards, and I'll describe them in for a moment, just what they do.
Okay.
I'm going to just give them to all players so we can kind of play along at home.
And is it like pretty standard procedure to attack weasels on sight? Is that just like
Yeah.
common?
Yeah, it's very common. You would absolutely attack them. These are like weasel bandits, right?
Yeah, well, they looked pretty shady.
So we're going back to the little follow through. So we're going to establish our captain and now write our goals. We're going to write what the goals are. The weasels here, they have a pretty simple goal. Murder.
Wow, that's cool.
Actually, you know what? They're not. I'm gonna do it more fun. I'm gonna do more fun with this. Their goal is to capture you.
That's coincidental because my goal is to stab them both through the throat violently until they're dead.
Cool. So like I'm gonna write. So like I wrote in a little text box here. My goal is to capture and kidnap you guys. And now, Ash, could you go ahead and write what your goal is there on screen as well, so we can follow along?
Except I can't put a text box anywhere. So.
Oh well, whatever. I'll do it then.
Hang on, maybe I can. Hang on. Oh, I got it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I got it.
Nice. Thank you.
Cool. It's not typing. Why is it? Is it?
It is.
Really
It's just
small.
the tiniest of the tinies.
Really freaking.
There you
tiny.
go. I enlarged it for you. That's what was going on.
Okay. Where? Oh my god, my text box is closed again. Hang on, I'm on it. I swear.
Roll 20 text boxes.
Kill the weasels. There we go. I'm gonna just make that like really big. There we go.
Okay. Cool.
Not good at text boxes, apparently.
Awesome. So the next thing we're going to do is establish our hit points. Okay. So,
I assume that's our health.
no. Well, it's yes and no. It's based on our health. These are going to be two things that we're going to be doing together. You're going to be adding something to the base of your health. So what is your health, Ash?
4.
4. Okay. So you're going to be adding a number to 4, and you're going to be adding the number of successes of a test that everyone's going to be helping you with. Okay? Because this is a fight conflict,
Okay.
you're going to be adding your fighter skill. So you're going to make a fighter test right now.
6.
And this kind of determines your disposition or like your current, like how strong you are convinced of your goal right now. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So do we all have to have goals or just the fight leader?
No, the fight leader represents the goal for the whole group.
Okay.
Any help traits, supplies.
Good question.
Modifiers. Does my sword count as relevant gear?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Sweet deal. And then you two are helping me somehow. I don't.
Yeah, how are we helping?
So, if we once again we go back to the skills and help. How can you help with fighter, hunter, or fighter itself? Right. The skill can always help with the same skill. So if it's fighter, if you have fighter, you can help with that. But if you don't, if you have hunter, you can help with hunter.
I can help with fighter. I'm gonna help you in this fight. Weasels are evil, and all they want to do is murder tiny innocent mouses. My father taught me that.
Yeah.
So I'm helping with my fighter.
Can we both help with the same thing, or does it have to be
Yes.
different?
No, you can help with the same thing. Good questions as well.
Mm-hmm.
This gets much faster
Actually,
after
I
we
have
play it
hunter
for
as
the
well.
first time.
Yeah, I have hunter, so I'm gonna help with hunter.
Okay. Sure. Cool.
And
So what's your base fighter, Ash? 6?
6.
So you're 6 dice plus 1 for your sword plus 2 from people helping you.
What's the ob?
It's 0.
Ob 0. 3 successes.
Ooh, bummer. That's a lot of 1s.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. You could spend a fate to reroll that 6 to add more to our disposition, but otherwise, that means your HP of this conflict is going to be 3 plus 4, so 7. So 7 out of 7. Okay. Are you cool with that? Just having 7, or
I have absolutely no frame of reference as to if that's like relatively good or bad, but yes, fine.
Oh, okay. I mean,
So-
that's completely reasonable.
Let us move forward.
Yeah. These guys have, let's see, 5, 6, 7. So the weasels themselves have 7
Okay. Same as us.
based on the conflict. Cool. So here's the next part that we need to talk about. All right. And this is probably one of the more interesting parts of the game. Conflicts work the same way if it's a fighting conflict, or you're trying to convince somebody of something, or if you're trying to kind of do any kind of thing. Only what changes is the types of skills that are getting rolled. But the base mechanics all still work the same. What's going to happen is that we're each going to script what are called actions. All right. In our hands, I gave you the 4 different types of actions, and I'm going to show them off real quick. Okay. The first one, and the simplest one, is called an attack action. If you attack, what that means is that you are going after your goal directly. So if you want to kill the weasels, then you are attacking. I'm fighting you, right? If you want to stop them from kidnapping you, then you are defending, right? In the broadest circumstance. Defending is what keeps your hit points up, rather than you taking down other people's hit points. The next part is maneuver. Maneuver gives you sort of like the setup action. If you do a good maneuver, the next move that you take will be augmented and boosted in a way that it could achieve more than what a normal roll could do. And then the last one is feint. Feint is a tricky card. I just took it. Feint, when played against certain cards, like a feint versus a defend, your feint triggers automatically, and the person who did defend doesn't get to do their thing. It's kind of like it's a feint. It's a trick that it's a high risk, high reward card, right? Because if they play attack and you played a feint, your feint gets washed out just like a defend would, and they get to attack you for free, right? So you could see how there's a sort of like rock paper scissors-y type thing that happens.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be like the hardest thing to learn tonight. Okay, so like just fair warning. But the first time you do it, it's always a little complicated, but then the next time you do it, it gets easier and easier and easier. Okay, and like literally like the second time you do it or third time, it's like it will take less than 10 minutes to just do the whole thing. So like, bear with us as we learn this together. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you were asking a question, Bluejay.
I was just wondering where these cards were.
They're in your hand.
I have a hand.
And roll 20.
Okay.
So underneath your name, there's a bunch of cards.
Okay.
If you click them, these are the cards in your hand. So what's going to happen here is that I'm going, as the GM, I have to script my actions first, and I keep them face down. Then you guys get to talk about what you're going to do, and then you script your actions, and then we trigger one at a time, right? Here's some other things to keep in mind. Because this is a fight conflict. How do you defend? How do you attack? What does that mean? In the conflicts handout, attacking means you're going to be rolling with your fighter skill. Defending means you're defending with your nature. If you're feinting with your fighter. And if you're maneuvering with your nature. Okay? So those are the two relevant skills in this fight conflict. Okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me. I am that is incorrect. It is fighter or hunter for attack. It's lore or nature for defend. It's fighter or hunter for feint, or lore or nature for maneuver. Okay. So just
Okay.
one little extra one. Lore could also be used for defend, right? For lore mouse. Okay, because that would show knowledge of weasel tendencies and such, right? Okay. So that's what's going on. The last thing we should do is talk about weapons and how weapons influence different things, because we're equipped with weapons in a fight conflict, and different weapons give you different benefits and bonuses for what's going on. So, for example, Bluejay, right? You have your Genji Shuriken, right?
Yep.
Since we said that they're going to work like a bow would. Bows give you either a +2 bonus to maneuver skills. So like if you wanted to script maneuver, you'll get 2 additional dice in addition to doing your lore or nature, just by the nature of the bow. Alternatively, if you were going to do an attack and do an attack with a bow, you get the benefit of, rather than both attacks happening and hurting one another, if you win, you don't get any damage and you deal damage.
Okay.
So that's an interesting thing to point out, which I haven't really talked about.
Maneuvers are spend 1. Would that be spend 1 success?
Yeah.
Spend. So I would, as a maneuver, I would choose to do a maneuver, and then I would use whatever amount of successes I got from that maneuver to affect my
Exactly.
play in this
Exactly.
Okay.
So every time you make a test, you're trying to beat you're trying to beat an obstacle, right? And these are the 2 different obstacles that happen. It's either an obstacle 0, which means it's an independent test, which means you're just kind of rolling on your own independent of what the other person's doing, or the obstacle is the versus test, and it's whatever number of dice the other team rolled, right?
Okay.
And whoever has the highest pool. Those are the 2 ways of looking at it, independent or versus. And so in a maneuver, if you're trying to get all those bonuses, it's independent. You're rolling against a 0. How many successes you get lets you buy all those different types of things you can do to help out for the next run. Okay.
Okay. Does this help my friends as well?
Yes. So because there's 3 players and there's 3 volleys, each of you represent one of these volleys. Okay. So looking at the sheet, I'm using terminology and I realize I never explained. There is conflicts occur in rounds. Rounds are broken up into volleys, into 3 volleys specifically. Volley 1, 2, and 3, right? And actions and conflicts get resolved volley by volley by volley, starting from left to right. So so I can tell you that the weasels are armed with swords, right? Just how you guys can get benefits from having a sword or a weapon, so can the weasel. They are going to... I picked the same types of maneuvers and things that you guys have access to: attack, defend, feint. That's all there is. Just what I end up rolling could be different. And then we're just going to end up comparing what these volleys are. And the way we compare that is by looking at the helper here. There's this little grid at the bottom, right? So like attack versus attack is independent, which means we both do damage to each other. It's hard. Think of this way: when we do damage to one another, we attack the hit points of our goal. We don't actually get injured per se. It just means that we're both damaging our goal. This is like the hardest part to kind of understand, is that us as a group, our willingness to accomplish our goal, the strength of us achieving our goal, is that 7 out of 7. That's what's getting hurt. What that ends up looking like is resolved at the end when there's a victor, and we just start determining what the compromise is. Okay. The different one, attack versus defend, would be a versus test. If the attacker wins and beats the defender, they do damage, and the defense wasn't good enough. If the defender wins and they're able to hold off enough of the attack that it's not just like an even one, they actually can recover some of the disposition that's been hurt before. So pro tip, never script defend as your first action. Attack versus feint. If the weasels tried to feint you and you attack, you get a free attack. They don't get to do anything to you because they did a feint and their gamble paid off miserably. Right? And then the last thing is attack versus maneuver. attack versus maneuver is a versus test, which means whoever does the highest one achieves, just like defend. There is one thing I wanted to bring up real quick as also.
Yeah.
Can we like try this in play because
Yeah.
it's not going to make any
I
sense.
feel
Sure.
like you
Yeah.
just like throw
No
in
problem.
this
Yeah, all
at
these
me,
words,
like,
yeah.
Whoa, let's just play.
That's
it
that's a lot of
and
rolls
find
through everyone
out
wants.
how to
Yeah.
freaking do the
Yeah.
thing.
No problem. Okay. Cool. So I scripted my three. I scripted my three things. Right.
So between the three of us, we have to script three things in response to your three things.
Correct.
Do each of our mice act one of the things because we have different gear? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
In which order?
So
the order is determined by what you guys want to do.
So yeah,
but once you play down the cards, it's like my card is this, your card is the second one, my card's third card's the third person.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So I think what I want to do is turn our charge into a maneuver for our first action to give us like the benefits of having maneuvered going into whatever our second action is. And if that's attack, then we'll get a bonus from the maneuver as far as I understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then we worry about our defense after that. That would be what I would say. But I mean, like, who does what action? That's up to everybody. So
yeah.
No, I'm totally great at maneuvering. So
you're gonna maneuver? Okay.
I'm hella good at maneuvering, evidently. Right.
So like what that probably looks like narratively is like you telling us what to do, right? Like while we're running in.
I'm like, all right, guys, I am gonna distract them with my shiny, deadly objects, throwing them at them.
Yeah.
And then y'all come in from the side when they're trying to dodge, bob and weave, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Good. Perfect. So
Cool.
maneuver first, done by Rosie. Then
So go ahead and grab from your hand, Elf. Go
my hand?
put down maneuver as your first card.
Elf's hand.
Yeah, from
From
Elf's
my
hand. Yeah, the captain of the mission is the one who plays the cards.
Okay.
Right. They have the permission to basically they have final say over the execution of what happens because they are the captain.
Okay.
Mhm.
boom.
Okay. Cool.
And then we wanted to attack next. So
Mhm.
who wants to do the attack
I'll
maneuver?
do the attack.
You're gonna do the attack? All right,
Yeah.
that's good because I can jump to our defense after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So attack. Sorry, I have never used card mechanics.
No problem.
So you're just
You guys have also never done a conflict in Mouse
bear
Guard
with
before.
me just a second.
So like
Yeah, I think it's way simpler than it sounded while you were trying to explain.
yeah, I know. I may have gotten a little verbose.
Okay, so that and then defend. All right, show us what happens.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
So attack versus maneuver triggers first. So yeah, so you throw it out. You start throwing out your shurikens as the weasels are trying to basically rush you guys. It's just kind of a surprise to them. They try to react by dodging, and let's make a roll to see what happens here.
Okay, so I'm
Okay.
rolling my fighter, right?
No, your maneuver for a fight animal conflict is either lore mouse or nature.
Where is Lore Mouse?
It's a skill. If you don't have the skill, don't worry about it. You probably just
I
want
think
to
it's
use
just
nature
lore.
instead.
I think it's just lore.
Okay, then I'll use nature. And then is it just the nature or do I get the plus what do you say I get?
Oh
for
no,
range?
nature. Think of nature and abilities just like a skill would, right? So you could totally, if you have the relevant gear like that bow, which
well, but
you do.
you said because my shuriken count like mechanically like a bow, then I get +2.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So that's so far 6 die.
Other people can help you.
I think I'm okay.
I mean, they give you extra dice.
Yeah. Does
Okay.
it
Rosie
conflict
doesn't,
with
Rosie
anything?
doesn't need our help.
Does it conflict with them doing their moves or anything like that?
Yeah.
Them helping me? Are they able to help like once per turn? Like then they couldn't help
is there
like
a limit
elf
to
if
it,
she
or can we
helped?
No, that you can.
Every
Every volley is separate, so you could help each other throughout the conflict. Right.
Why wouldn't you just always help then?
Yeah, you telling me. Just do it.
Okay.
There's definite advantages of
why is
helping.
that
Sure.
option rather than just a
Well,
thing to do then?
Yeah. Well,
You know what I
particularly
mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't understand.
Particularly in conflicts, that's a big deal. But if you don't always help in other skills, if you don't help, you are immune to the consequences.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So in the conflict, it's just like, why not? But in other
Yeah.
things, you might have a
Mhm.
consequence.
Correct.
Okay, so I mean, we're both charging with. What do you have? What's your weapon, Waylon?
Yeah.
So Eric, is my like request for the staff all good?
Yes. Yeah, you have a
Okay.
staff.
Yeah, so it's a staff. So I'm like probably just sprinting with it, like held out
Mhm.
sort of behind me, ready to like, wound up.
Whack.
to
Yeah.
step
So
up.
Yeah.
so we're both helping in this maneuver by like flanking, right? And then
Yeah.
Rosie's distracting with the shurikens while we get into position.
Okay, so I have 2 helping die
Plus
as well.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that altogether is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 die. So what would I be testing? My nature?
Yes. You are testing your nature.
Specifically, my nature is 4. I'm getting 4 help from my gear and my friends. It's a versus, right? So it's a 0.
Yes. And when you're ready, I'm also going to roll.
Okay, I'll just do 0 so I did it. Oh man.
3.
Oh, well, I got 2 successes.
Ha!
So you win. You win with 1 over me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the maneuver then would be we only have 1 success for the conflict. So hello, game, please.
Yep.
There we go.
So essentially the only thing
It
you
would
can
just
buy
be -1 die to the opponent's next action.
correct. So it
So we'll
works.
buy
So
in.
one of the people who's trying to like rush after who's doing the next attack here?
Me.
You, Colin? Okay.
Yeah.
So then they're trying to rush at you. But then they take a moment, and as the shurikens whiz by, the weasels like block them like with like a very, very, very what's the word? Dexterously. With great agility as like the shurikens reflect off the sword into the side of the wagon that's nearby. And so they hiss. But that delayed them and had enough time because the strike wasn't necessarily to try to kill them. It was to buy time, and out from this periphery in comes our patrol leader, Walen, with a staff ready to hit him on the head. Right? Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to flip card. Maneuver. They were trying to get the gist on you as well. So just like last time, only the things have changed around. So now they're going to be trying to get an advantage on you. So this is once again a versus test. The person who hits the most successes will win. And you build a pool again, and it continues. Okay. But keep in mind, I have 1 minus die to this than last time, right?
Damn straight.
So nature's 4.
I'm helping you by
5,
also
4.
attacking you. By the way, just saying.
Oh, why did I think I was using nature, right?
No, fighting
Or fighter.
uses fighter. Yep.
Fighter. Okay.
I'll make a quick little graph thingy for the graphic for the next time with the common conflicts and what type of things they use.
Okay, and I've got 2 help. 2 people help.
All right, I'm ready to roll when you are.
I just did it and it didn't go. That's weird. Okay. Let me try it
Roll
again.
20. I
I think you have to make sure that you put zeros in where it's empty
Oh, I just thought
instead of just like
Yeah,
leaving a
no,
blank.
you
You have
gotta
to put
put
a
zeros.
0. That's why it didn't roll the first
There we
time.
go. 2. So we tie. This is a good point. So now we can bring up what happens when we tie. So there's some things that happen when we tie that are pretty interesting. So depends on how important we want to make this. When we tie, you can invoke a trait negatively, so the enemy wins and earn yourself 2 checks for the player's turn for this round. You could spend a fate point to reroll any relevant 6s in order to get yourself to achieve your goal. Or, if you really want to push it, we devolve to what's called a tiebreaker roll, which uses the ability of what happened before. So for example, your attack was fighter. Fighter's based on health. You would roll health versus this thing's nature, and we do one quick little test to see who wins. What do you choose?
Let's do that. I mean, am I deciding, or is the battle?
I think you get to decide, because this is still a tie and it's still your role.
Still your
This occurs outside of conflicts too. Like, so I believe it's still your thing. Yeah.
Let's just do the
Yeah.
like health versus nature.
Okay. So, weasels have a health of 5. But I'm sorry, but they're using their nature, so it's a 4. I don't think you can. I think it's not clear if you can help on a tiebreaker roll. I would assume you can. So two people could help you with nature as well.
Are you guys helping?
I mean,
Always.
I mean, there's no reason not to.
100.
Okay, and
We're fighting alongside you.
what was the ob? What was your nature?
It's a versus, so like I'm getting ready to roll it right now. So just put 0.
All right.
Whew.
Nice.
4 successes, but you got 6 successes. So you both rolled extraordinarily well. Cool. So you win. So you win. The tie breaks in your favor. So you don't end up doing any damage to us though, because it was a tie, but it's just a victory. So because you didn't get a margin of success higher than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the tiebreaker roll doesn't count, I think, in terms of successes across, but I could be wrong on that. Okay. So attack's done, and now it's defend. It's defend versus attack. So this is another versus test. So it's another stalemate. The weasels, you try to bop them on the head again, but the weasels are very quick. They growl and hiss and curse you in sort of like a guttural mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're we're gonna you'll look great with the others. So as they hiss.
Okay, so defend then, right?
Hmm.
What's the next thing? Did we get through? Was that the end of the attack? Or?
I think that's what we're doing right now.
That's what we're doing right now. That's the resolution of attack maneuver.
Oh, okay. So I, in their statement of like, you'll look good with the others, I jump in front with my sword out, ready to, parry and block anything that comes our way.
Oh, chat's saying tiebreaker
Last
counts as margin of success. So you actually did a point of damage to him.
Sweet.
Cool. Okay.
Cool.
So here comes the actual like fighting engagement. So let's get ready to roll again.
Oh, we're still doing the fighter roll? Sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Well, defend. So technically defend is with lore or nature.
Oh.
For this one. So you'll be fighting with nature again.
Okay, so wait, are we doing the attack roll still,
We already did the
or
attack roll.
No,
okay, so we're defending now. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm just real confused. Okay, so nature. So my nature is really shitty. I shouldn't have decided to do defense. But that's life. I'm assuming you two are helping me.
Always.
And I have the relevant trait fearless, so I'm going to use that as well. Use my check for that, which I think I can do. So 4, 6, freaking yeah. All right. So nature 3. Well, is there an ob for this, or is it opposed?
It's versus.
Okay, it's opposed again.
It's opposed. Yeah. 5. So I'm able to get 2 points into you. So they hit hard.
Turns out it's hard to block 2 weasels attacking
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah, what happens there? What's the like choreography of that?
Sure. So definitely. So I think the weasels are their hubris pays off as your initial volleys and attempts of strategy against them does not go in your favor. Were clearly they're clearly more well trained than you would probably expect. They are definitely you seem to have a little bit of the advantage on you right now, but that can quickly turn because you guys weren't fighting with everything you have yet, right? So we'll see.
Definitely could fight harder.
Yeah. Cool. So I script. So we that was the end of the first round. So then we script again, and we keep repeating.
Okay.
So, dude.
What do you think, team? I think that what's your fighter, Elf?
6.
You should definitely be on the attack.
Yeah, probably.
I
didn't
think
realize I couldn't defend with fight. Just off the bat.
Yeah, you definitely should be attacking
I
with
was like,
fighter.
I could totally tank it with my mad fighter skills, but no.
Yeah,
you have to attack with your mad fighter skills.
my nature's 5, so that's
You
a-
should be defense.
Okay, so maybe we just rotate on that, and
I
Yeah.
still think that I should maneuver and I should probably go
Okay,
first to try and
so-
give advantage on the next
so do
roll.
we just want to like do it again, except the same way, except that I'll be the attack. and you
Flip-flop?
defense,
Yeah.
Waylon?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? Let's get some cards out here. Come on, cards. Get out of there we go. So that one's attack. We want a maneuver for a start, you said?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll maneuver to start, and then we want to defend on the end as before, and flip them all over. Boop, 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 boop. Good.
So it's an attack. So this is another versus. So you guys are
Cool.
trying to edge something together. I assume this is going to be you, Bluejay, again with some more
Yeah.
shurikens.
Yeah.
Rosie.
So,
Rosie rescue.
I basically I mean, I don't know. I'm just gonna say what I think I do and you'll tell
Yeah.
me I can't do that. I like find a nearby, like I'm obviously still a ways off from the fight because I'm throwing a ranged weapon and they're
Yeah.
like in it. And I find nearby like a little rock or maybe like a stump or something that I can like scamper up on and get some kind of higher ground so that I can throw some shuriken like at exposed flank positions that like they're like hand to hand 2 and 2 with these weasels. And I'm like, I'm going to try and get in the weak spots with my shuriken from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that sounds good.
And then I'm going to roll with my, you said nature? Is that
Mhm.
what I use? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm using my nature again. And then you guys are helping by distracting them, obviously.
Right.
That's helping, right?
Of course. I mean, we're like, I imagine that I'm squared off with one weasel, and Waylon is probably
Yeah.
squared off. The
So
other.
Yeah.
to help them would be fighter or hunter, right? So-
Yeah, you guys both have
Oh yeah.
those
Yeah,
skills.
we have both.
Cool. Awesome.
Okay, and I'm going to use determined because I want this fight to go well. We have to get through this. We have to get on with our little mouse task, and we need to do it quickly. So I'm determined to quickly get through this. So I'm going to use that plus my extra 2 for my ranged weapon, which is going to be amazing. And you're going to hate everything. I have 5 help.
You've
Oh, what?
we fucking tied.
Damn it.
But hey, you rolled 2 6s and you have fate to spend.
I don't have fate to spend. I already spent it.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Aw, damn.
Remember?
Oh, bummer.
Remember
Okay.
when this happened? I have
Yeah.
other things that I could do potentially.
Can I do something with a wise that would be relevant, like to help somehow to bump it? Because you said you do that wises like retroactively, right?
Only if you're the person making the roll.
Oh well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, they serve as help. So no. So once again, we're at a tie. So we have to go back to the tiebreaker. Since you already used a trait positively,
mhm.
you can't really use it to make one negatively in their favor,
Mhm.
unless you have another trait you could use.
So we just have to go to tiebreaker roll.
Yeah.
basically.
You can't use fate, so we have to do a tiebreaker roll.
So the tiebreaker roll would be my help.
Yes, first their nature.
And
Or actually, versus their health as well.
And can I do anything? Add anything to that?
Oh. No, I don't think so. Because this is just like a raw, quick test.
Okay. Sure. Health.
Oh my god, successes is spelled wrong.
I told you.
That's terrible.
I fixed it though.
And it's a versus?
Yes, so I'm getting ready to roll as well.
Oh yeah, the recent one's fixed. Okay.
Okay, so it's just health, no help from anything. Haha!
Yes.
Okay, so you win. So you win the
Healthy as
tiebreaker
hell.
roll. So you win the tiebreaker roll with a 0 margin of success.
I still won though,
You did win.
but I didn't get to give any help
wait.
on the next.
So I just want to make sure chat was mentioning whether or not if margin does tiebreaker roll actually count as a margin of success of 1? Oh, it does. I'm sorry, it does. So you actually earned 1, so you can impede the next action again.
Okay, yep, I'm doing it.
For your maneuver. See, it's really easy. You don't have to figure out what you want to spend your things on because you just keep getting by
Whatever
by
I
the
have.
skin of your teeth. Yeah,
Yeah.
margin of success is 1. Okay, so in the future, when there's a tie and you win the tiebreaker, that's like the tiebreaker determines whether or not you get 1 additional success or 1 additional failure, if that makes sense, right? Or not 1 additional failure, just the winner gets 1 additional success. So that breaks the tie in their favor. Okay? So, attack versus attack.
Yes, in my attack, I take the traditional fighting stance of, Karen's dojo and get ready to wreck this weasel real good.
Yeah. That's cool.
And as I am, let me narrate for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jeez. And as I am bold, I will, rather than straight attacking this weasel, goad him into attacking me for a perfect out of sheath
Slash.
sort of maneuver.
Yeah.
So
Ijitsu.
while I'm fighting, I back up so I can do the Aedo or whatever.
Yeah, Ijitsu. Yeah. Attack with
maneuver. Because I'm bold and I don't need to block his stupid sword. I can.
Yeah, and I think
faster than he is.
I think we actually see this is a really close scene. I think we see the weasel being like, "You fight like that stupid woman. Like I've killed plenty of their students."
And there's just that gritting teeth noise as I get ready to just.
Yeah, and not knowing that you've been their star pupil. So let's see.
I'm the star pupil.
They do get a -1 to this because of the impede. So they're only gonna roll 6 dice.
So I can do that.
We're obviously helping.
Yeah, you
Yes.
two are
Forever.
obviously helping.
Okay.
It just seems weird, help every.
It's so weird, yeah. So that's
The weasel is badly dubbed
My-
for Coxblow.
So what does my sword give
Should
me
give
bonus? Just
sword
what-
should give you a 1 additional die to whatever action you want per
Okay, well,
round.
attack
Yeah,
then.
that seems very reasonable.
So 1 from that, 2 from you two. Cool.
Cool, let's do it.
Let's find out today.
4.
Oh,
For
I
me.
forgot to put a 0 in the freaking ob thing. Hang on. I just skipped through. I can do this, team. Don't worry. I got it. Oh, wait, and I'm bold. I need 1 more die.
Because you're bold.
I need 1 more die. Boom!
Okay,
Yeah.
you got 5 successes. So, the weasels are knocked down to 1, and you guys are knocked down to 1.
Ah!
Wait, down
Wait, why?
to 1? Why?
Yeah, because
would
this
we
is
have any?
independent. They both happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a
yeah. Attack versus attack is bad.
All right,
It's
well,
hard.
well, narratively, this one weasel dead. This
Yeah.
one weasel is definitely
So,
the the surprise sword strike from the sheath just severs through this weasel, and we turn to focus on the last one.
Sure.
But I probably take a nasty sword hit from being such a bold,
Yeah.
unguarded idiot.
David Turner in chat mentions, and this is very, very true. Attack versus attack is when shit gets real. The only way to
feels real.
the only way to save yourself in attack versus attack is to have a ranged weapon, because then it becomes like attack versus maneuver or attack versus defend, where it's versus. because the range of that weapon prevents it from being independent, and it becomes versus instead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Neat.
Okay, so attack versus defend. This is a versus. Weasels are turning it up the heat, you know. So this is a versus test. They're no longer impeded.
Just
So
for
they're-
context,
Mhm.
like when I see Ash sort of get hit, I like sort of shift in front and like just staff up, and I start like doing a spin move kind of thing.
Yeah.
We'll see if it pans out when I move.
Cool.
To strike.
So,
Yes.
for my knowledge, which was the one where feint would work, and which was the one where it would just be like you just lose?
Feint would get fucked against attack for attack.
Feint is good against defense.
Defense,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes, feint is
Okay.
good against defense.
Okay.
All right. So I'm ready to roll.
All right.
Something to consider for defending. If you invoke your nature and your persona, or you spend a persona for a nature and add that to your roll, that might give you a chance to heal up a lot. Right. Remember, like basically spending your persona for a roll is kind of you going Super Saiyan hero mode.
Mhm.
Like that's when you get all that extra dice. That's when you really want to succeed on something. That's the way you do it.
I mean, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do that. Let's just jump into it.
Yes, just super Saiyan it.
Yeah. So I mean, I saw you get like wounded, and so it's just like, oh, we're fighting. We're like, this is an actual fight. It's actually
Yeah.
going to be a real challenge. Okay, let's do this. And oh shit, my thing just froze.
No.
Okay. No, it's back. Just kidding. Okay, so how do I add persona? Like, is that just
You add your nature.
yeah?
So you add your current nature skill to the roll as additional dice.
as additional dice.
Mhm.
Wait, so am I not?
So
testing?
Waylon, no, you're rolling fighter, right?
Oh,
Like
thought
like
it-
or are you defend? Oh no, you used a nature. So what you're doing, you're double tapping it essentially. So you're basically rolling your nature twice here. Right? So that's 10 dice. Right?
Shit.
plus
Yeah.
help from 2.
Always.
Yes, plus 2 help.
Every time.
Who are helping with nature.
All right.
Should we have been marking successes and failures on this?
Yeah. One second. Well, no, at the end. At the end you mark a conflict lets you mark one skill that was tested. But because there's
Okay.
different skills and stuff, you get to choose which one it is.
Okay.
And I had to look at your skill sheet, so I ended up canceling out of this thing real quick. So hold on. 6 successes, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Try
You
that.
get
for
2.
obstacles.
So you heal higher than the margin. So you're up to 3 out of 7.
What is that? I want to hear the narrative.
What do you do?
So the last weasel is like going furious at you, but you're like keeping them at bay. As I probably I guess Ash and everyone, yeah, you guys are like basically getting ready to like to circle that guy at the very end. He's not leaving anywhere. You know, he's gonna fight to the death. So we're gonna keep it going.
Brave weasel.
Yeah. So the third round.
More like a stupid weasel.
I think
Like,
at this point,
like every weasel.
Yeah.
Am I right? Weasel races.
Damn weasels.
and I think at this point, like his like Odie mask is cracked and stuff. So like you see like the fur and stuff underneath it and stuff.
Yeah, he's been like whacked so many times by just
Yeah.
like quick blows of the staff and stuff.
Are we going to adjust our plays at all, or
Yeah. You guys totally should.
I think we should just straight attack this guy like 3 times.
But if it's an attack versus attack, we could totally get
But
wrecked.
then you'll take the first one so that you
Right.
succeed. Then
Okay.
we won't take any damage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take the first one as an attack. I think
Yeah.
that's appropriate.
Okay. Let me clear out the board for you. There you go. Do you need more cards? I think you can add cards to your deck by hitting choose. I believe you guys have that option.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
I
At the
don't-
end of all of these exchanges, things happen. In terms of the accounting for skills that need to change.
Let's just go
So we doing it?
completely attack mode. I think that's what we should
Okay.
do.
It's just like bloodlust happening
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
attack
so-
versus attack.
So how do my attack is with fighter or hunter, right?
Yes.
They're both the same, so it doesn't matter. And then do I get +2 for my range weapon, right?
No, that's only for maneuvers.
That's only for maneuvers.
For this one, it just makes it versus instead of independent.
Okay. And then
People can help you.
we're helping.
Of course, we've surrounded this
Surrounded
weasel,
the guy.
and it's
That's
just like,
definitely help, yeah.
as long as we lock him down, it should be easy to shoot him.
Okay. So probably just the fighter and 2 helps on that.
Unless you've got a trait or
Yeah.
something.
Or you want to? Do you have your persona?
thing.
I do have my persona.
You could totally spend it to try to like beat this guy.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to spend my persona and I'm going to murder his whole face. I'm helping.
Okay.
So then I would add my nature, right?
Yes. So you add your nature stat to this roll as a pool of bonus dice.
Fighter.
It's a lot of dice.
It's
This is
3.
why. So I have the option. This is probably easier to do it this way and have the visuals of these types of things. But like for a while, I was playing with the idea of having a bunch of rollable table icons of dice, and so you can see yourself building the pool of dice and then rolling them all together. We can explore if that's an option, but I think this is probably more clear.
Yeah.
I did the thing.
Oh, let me roll my things. Oh, I lost.
Yeah, you did.
So we lost.
So
So-
I like, you guys are
Obvious.
like guarding them on either side and he's like trying to like defend against your attacks or whatever. And I'm just like, perfect. And I throw a shuriken directly into his eyeball.
Ugh. Yeah, and he goes
And it
goes
just
down.
like it's embedded in his skull because the mask is cracked, right?
Yeah.
And so like I sightline it like straight through a crack in his mask into his eye, and it just like embeds in his skull, and he just like falls backward.
Yes.
It's excellent.
Congratulations. Okay. So the now we have to figure out the compromise part of the game, right? So in a compromise, you guys did not win with full health. So something happens in a way that you guys, it's not a perfect victory, right? Is essentially what it is. You've lost more than half technically, right? So a compromise should kind of hurt a little bit. It should not feel like things are good. So there's 2 ways of
Narratively-
looking. So yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, okay, well, so compromise is like something bad happens to us, right? Like in return for the fact that we
Mhm.
took damage in whatever context. And I imagine that compromise in a social situation would be something like, you don't get entirely what you want, or you don't, or whatever. But narratively in a fight, I think I got hurt. You know, like the way we narrated it was like my boldness got me injured.
You would take the injured
So-
tag?
Yeah, I think I probably got hurt. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's exactly right. So, when you compromise you lost about half. The winner comes out of the conflict with about half their disposition. You owe the losers a significant concession. So I feel like you being injured is definitely a worthy compromise to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Kind of.
There's this moment after the fight where you clean the sword, put it away, and Ash looks to the other two with her hood up in the rain or whatever, and goes like, "We got him."
Yeah. But since yeah.
Ow.
Yeah, oftentimes in a compromise for a conflict, the other side gets to like get some of their goal, but since they're dead,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I think at this point we see a like pointing out from the from like a ravine, we see the top of an acorn, and then we see the head of a mouse, and we see that it's his hat, and he goes, "Are they gone? Did you?" And he's looking around, and this mouse is just shocked, like pointing at the dead weasels, and you being like, "You did this! Oh, you guys are! Oh, you're amazing! Thank you so much!"
I'm
Thank
like,
you.
As soon as they pop out, I like
Yeah.
throw a hand out. I'm like, Ash, don't.
Yeah. Right? Because he like completely surprises you guys. Like this merchant like pops out like who's this cart that was full of like rice and grain and supplies for trade has been turned over and
I think the thing with that as well, Walen like stops me, but also I was drawing the sword and I like pulled the side where I've been like hurt, like
yeah.
So it's like, surprise! Oh, okay, don't do it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm only because you said so.
Definitely.
I think I'm gonna like drop off of my perch and go up to Ash and see if I can like, I don't know, just for I don't know how to actually heal in this game, but for flavor, like, be like, oh, like let me,
rest.
help. Yeah.
So you could spend 2 checks on your turn to do a recover during the GM's turn, or it costs 1 check during the player's turn.
Oh, okay.
And spoilers, we're really close to the player's turn. In fact, we were literally at it in a moment. So at this point in the game, the mouse says his name. He says, the merchant says like, "Oh, my name's Abram. Please, you guys, take what you need. But you guys have done so much, and I hate to ask you for more, but the weasels they attacked during the rain, and they carried off some of my partners."
Oh no.
You have to help them. They're my partners.
Yeah,
you guys you're accomplished samurai. You have to help.
We are on another mission though, Ash, right?
You are on another mission.
It's of the utmost importance.
I'm like, well, how did you avoid the weasels?
Yeah. Why weren't you taken?
He kind of like looks down and says, "During the clash, I just narrowly escaped. I hid in this ravine for hours."
So your companions have been gone for hours, taken by weasels. You know what weasels do to their captives, right?
I know. That's why you have to go quick. They're probably okay still. If you wait, and he hesitates.
No. I am very pessimistic when it comes to weasels. My father told me what they do to people, to mouse kind.
Do you know, like, fictionally, do we know what they do?
No.
What
do you mean?
They breed them like livestock to eat.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, weasels are shitty.
Okay, so they might still be alive.
If you're lucky. Yeah.
I'm weasel alive, so I know this.
I do have a question though before we move too much farther forward. How were we supposed to mark a success for fight? Or
yes. So at the end of the conflict here, you have to mark a certain things. So here are some skills and tests that you can mark. Whatever skill you tested, you could choose that as the skill that you wanted to learn from for the session. So either nature or fighter or hunter, right? And what you do is you would mark a success for it.
Okay. That was just my question before we move too far ahead. All right. So knowing weasels, then I know that they could possibly still be alive.
The one question I have right now that we might have to retcon is that I know when you test nature in a way that's not in line with your nature, aka fighting weasels in a way, I'm not sure if you actually get it taxed in the same way you would in a regular roll in a conflict. But don't worry about that. That's a problem for later us.
Okay.
But right now you're fine. Okay. So, at this point when he's asking you guys for help, it's the player's turn now. So now I turn the game to you guys. And you have a sense of these checks to spend on different things and how you want to proceed.
So we can just like do whatever we like.
Yeah.
Or
So you guys are standing in the middle of the road with the merchant who's pleading with you guys to help. You're telling him like, sorry, we're on a mission. But you know what fate awaits them.
Do we have one from just like the start?
You all have one. Yeah.
And then we have
Colin,
one-
you invoked the trait negatively against yourself, right? You invoked leader against yourself for one more check
Yes. I
at the
think
very
so.
start of the game, right?
Okay, so the
you should
rest of us only have one.
Correct.
Okay. Hmm. So would it be possible to be like, I'm going to use my test to go save those little mice from the weasels? Or
Yes, totally. You could spend your time. Yeah, we could totally do that, right? To try to find them. Yeah,
But,
that's
like,
perfectly valid.
in game, that would be time, right?
Yeah, that would definitely take time.
Hmm.
We don't have time. She could die any moment, any hour.
She looked pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, you can.
And I don't care about these random people who couldn't fight against.
That's our
weasels.
job. That's our
We
whole
want those
job.
2 weasels here. I'm hurt.
Oh,
Please,
you
yeah.
can we can spend checks to heal you, right?
Yes, you can. Totally. You could spend a check to give them a chance to recover, which is a test to recover.
Hmm. So we definitely need to heal, or let Elf heal. Let Ash heal themselves, or heal. Can I spend my check to heal Ash, or is that something Ash has to do?
No, you could totally spend your check to do that. That's a good one. Yeah. So you're injured, right?
I am, yes.
I feel like mechanically, as being trained under a healer, being herb wise and shit, it makes sense for me to be like, I'm gonna heal you up, and that's what I'm gonna do during this time. If that's all right with you, Ash, if you will allow me. Okay, so my test is gonna be to be healing. I don't have the healer skill. So what is that?
So then you could help with your nature, or you could either test with your nature if you don't have the skill. So like at the flowchart,
Okay.
right? So you want to try to help them recover. So you want to spend the test trying to heal them. So this would be a healer test, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do not have healer, then you can try to do
So
nature. Is this in context to escaping, hiding, climbing, or foraging? No. So your options are either to nature and what's called taxing your nature, or beginners lucking it and trying to learn healer.
I want to learn healer.
Okay. So let's start trying to learn healer.
Okay.
Right.
So what does that mean? What do I
Okay.
do?
So when you learn healer, it's just like any other skill roll, only you're using the as a healer test. I believe it's will.
Okay.
As the base. So you start with the base.
Mm-hmm.
Then you are going to add any relevant help traits, just like any other test. But then you're going to divide it by 2.
Divided by 2. Okay. So can I get help from...
It says for you, so you know this is an obstacle 3 injury test to heal.
So in order to get anywhere, I have to have at least 6 dice.
Not necessary, but
It's
yeah,
half.
necessarily, but yeah.
But like that's...
yeah.
Is it...
Yeah, well, you don't have a fate anymore, so yes.
Exactly. I don't have a fate anymore. So I would need help from both people, and then so am I dividing from the successes?
No, the raw pool gets halved.
Pool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's learning. Learning sucks. Alternatively, you could just roll with your nature.
I wanted to learn healer, but okay. Yeah, it makes more sense because I'd actually need elf to get better.
Yeah.
Failing it would be bad.
Good if I wasn't.
Yeah. So Ash, remember, so Ash and Walen can help you on this if they want. Even though you're spending the check, this is just like any other. This is just your authority to have the spotlight for now. They can spend a check, or they can just help you.
But they have to use one of their
No, it doesn't cost a check for them to do it.
not a check. I mean, like they have to have a relevant like wise or skill or trait or something. As
Well,
opposed to
but
battle where they just said I'm helping.
well, in this case, it's nature, and
Okay.
everyone has a nature, so you can help with nature.
All right. So I guess you guys are probably helping.
I mean, definitely, because you're trying to like do stuff to my side, so I will help in any way I can, even if that is just staying still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm wary of this other mouse here, but like, focus.
We gotta bind you up. We gotta make sure you're all healed. I don't think defender is really applicable here, so probably the 2. And it's an ob 3. Eric,
Yes.
done it.
Yes,
You are all healed up.
sweet.
Perfect. Cool. So go ahead and now this is important. So that counts as a test for your nature as well, Bluejay.
Okay.
But because it wasn't within your nature, reduce your nature by 1. You should see your nature is a number out of a number.
Yeah.
So now it's actually 4 out of 5.
4, but 3 out of 4. It's fine. That's dumb. So when does that, like, how do I like undo that?
So that's actually an interesting point. There's 2 things you can do. One, next session at the start of it, when we say previously on mouse guard, you can actually recover. That's point of nature.
Okay.
The other way you do it is through winter. So like over a course of a game, it boosts back up. Thirdly, you can actually just dump your nature so your nature right now is 4 out of 5.
It's 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. If you want to, you can dump it and make it 3 out of 3.
Oh, okay. Well,
And reduce it permanently.
No.
To make it refresh to full.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's rough, right? But yep. So far it's 3.
Why would you ever do that?
Because if you had nature 6 and you're like 2 out of 6, I would rather have out of 5 rather than out of 2 out of 6.
Oh, so you
I
just
guess.
like dump 1 point.
Okay, so if you were at like 1 out of 4 and you dumped to 3, it would be 3 out of 3 again. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, and also I'm loving chats, making sure I'm playing the game with the rules right. This test does not count as a healer test for learning. That's because you did not do beginner's luck. You tested it as a nature test. So this counts as a test for your nature, right?
Yeah, I was scared.
Right. So remember just how you can reduce your nature, right? Like how you could just say you could just exit out and like go down by 1. Say you had the right number of successes with nature though, and failures with nature. It could literally level right up if you succeed that test, right? By doing that. So you could technically nuke your nature by 1, succeed at the test, and then it level up again.
Oh, okay.
So like there's like nuances that happen in the game that like they don't show up immediately. Like that's not something you would think of. It just occurs through play of like, oh, Luke has a thing about that. Oh, Luke had a thing about that too, right? There's, like I said, there's a lot to kind of like pick up, but the basic idea of grabbing a bunch of dice, rolling it, did you get higher than a number is like the core part of the game.
Okay.
Cool. So that's your check. We got 2 more checks. What do you want to do?
Forge ahead and find Jin. I mean, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I don't know
So-
what our patrol leader wants, but
Yeah.
Yeah, like if that's kind of the consensus, let's do it. I'm like super easy right now. I'm just like energized from whole fight.
Ash's rationale is if we go to rescue those people, we might rescue those people, but I won't be able to fulfill the dying wish of my like sensei,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's a good point. Like, do you want to like discuss that, right? Like you can, just because we don't want to spend a check yet, we can totally like have that kind of conversation, right? Like you could have that role-playing moment. This is important. You want to help your sensei. At the same time, you also want to help these poor merchants who were kidnapped. Right? What type of people are you? This is a question. Right? There's no way you can do both. Right? There's no way you can do it without it taking time.
I think that while I'm healing up Ash, I'm like kind of quietly like, okay, like like, okay, turn over here, and not really talking. And then just as I'm finishing, I don't know, bandaging like little bits of linen or whatever, I like pat the injury and like do a little like I'm kind of holding you down a bit so you don't like get up right away.
Yeah.
And I speak to Ash and I'm like, I know that you want to help your teacher, but I think that we need to consider that she willfully allowed herself and her brother to be estranged for a decade. These people did nothing wrong, and they were just captured with like no wrongdoing of their own. They are perhaps to be submitted to all forms of torture, and I understand that you want to do as much as you can for this woman who has impacted your life, but she has had a decade to remedy this herself, and she did not. These innocents need our help.
And when Rosie says that, well, actually,
the merchant's very sad, by the way. He's like in the background being like, my cabbages!
Yeah. So Eric, the whole like premise here of the empire or whatever it was being like deposed, was that like recent, very recent? What was the like...
this is very, very recent, in the past 2 years.
Yeah. So I guess as Rosie's saying that, I like sort of finish off, I like come up at the end of that sort of speech, and I'm like, guard through and through, eh? Rosie, you still got the whole indoctrination going on for you, right? You know we're free agents now.
Free to do what? If not protect the people.
No, I mean that's a good thing. Like that would be good, but I'm just saying, like, Ash is kind of not in a great position to do that right now.
She's healing.
What do you think, Ash? Are you up for this?
Yeah, Ash and you were both tired, by the way, which I completely forgot in the disposition of the last one, but we're gonna ignore that.
I want to help.
This is super great, by the way.
I want to help. I really do, but I'm her student. That's important to me. It's really important. And so when my teacher asks me to do something, I mean, I don't question it. I just go and do it because I owe her that much. If you both say that we should go and rescue these people, and that's what you want to do, then I'll help you, and I'll help you as quickly as I can, because I want to get back to what's important to me, which is making my teacher's last few days comfortable for her.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't the only persons in that dojo. Like, there are other people who saw you who, like, they know this is your duty and your promise you made to them, right? Like, that's the big deal, right? Like, that's a huge amount of, like, shame.
I mean,
right?
We traveled less than a day, correct?
Yeah.
We could send...
It's like early morning the following day.
We could send someone back to get help for these poor people and then continue on our way.
Yeah, that could totally be a check. Or actually, I would let you do that for free. In exchange, that will cost time, because that would take a half a day. I think would be fair.
Could we retcon? Well, no, because you were helping. No. Never mind.
No, I think that would be fair. I think you could say you could run back and you could get help at the expense of time.
It is not in my nature to let these people go without at least assuring that someone is taking steps to
Yeah.
recover them.
Yeah. This game mechanic,
Then
this is a side note as a reward at the end of the game. If you go against your belief and you play it up in a way that's dramatic, you can earn persona. So like, that's a thing too. Just because your belief says something, if like this is good, this is testing your belief in a very serious way. Your friends are here; they're demanding something. Ash has made a promise to their sensei, right? You guys also have that halcyon days of being a Maple Guard where this is your duty to help these people. There's a lot of ways being pulled here, and this is important. And like that's why I really like this conversation and what you choose. Whatever it is. Right?
Rosie, we can you're the fastest. I need to wait anyway. I can't go wandering into danger with this wound still healing. So if Walen and I camp here for however long it takes you to make the run back as fast as you can, then I would consider that to be a compromise between these situations. I can't go. Eric.
Yeah.
Stop making noises in the middle of me trying to roleplay.
Stop being so good.
It's killing me, man. Okay. I can't gallivant off into the woods to rescue these people because I've made a promise that I wouldn't be distracted. But if you go and you bring some students from the dojo, they'll be well trained enough to deal with any small weasel group they might find, and bring them back here and forge off to rescue those people, then that's fine. I think my honor can stand that much patience.
This I will do for you.
Cool.
And I immediately gallivant off as quickly as I can back the way we came.
So I will posit
Scamper.
I will posit this as an option. Someone can donate you a check, Bluejay. And Rosie could do a health test of basically sprinting there and back in order to not have time.
I will happily donate a check in the form of you remembering that Ash needs you to go quick. Like, Ash's personal honor demands that you run fast.
Right.
Of course. I will run as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Just like FYI, Walen is like having a very conflicted like internal monologue right now. And I think I'm ultimately like, I'm just like,
what is that? What is that like? Does he
what does it look like?
Did you share any of that with Ash, like while they're sitting there?
Okay, so context. I have a drum. I have like a drum slung over my back usually, and at this point, as you guys have like spoken, I've like sat down, sort of just like, and pulled the drum out, and I'm just like very lightly tapping on it, like, and staring off into the distance. It's just like my thinking mode, and I'm like. But Rosie, the Ash is pretty bad. Oh, that eyeball. And so I think anyway, like throughout this, it's like really dragged out. But ultimately, like I stand up and like interrupt you with like a hit of the drum, and you like are forced to look that way. I'm like. We are guard mice. Someone should help those people, even if it's not us. Someone should help them. I agree with that. So yeah, Rosie, you should go. And this happens before you ran off. If you did run off,
Perfect. Okay. And so it sounded like Ash is donating their player check for Rosie to do this sprint. Okay.
So then I would do a health test?
Yes. And so I think this would probably be like I think it's an ob 2.
Okay.
You're sprinting off.
And could I consider, like, because she's donating her check, can she also, like, can it, is that
if no one is really coming with you.
So it's just me. That's fine.
Yeah. if someone was coming with you, I could maybe see
No.
in a way. Like
I would like.
then
I
it would be
like,
incumbent on the person who's helping you to describe how they're helping you. Is how I would picture it.
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Perfect. Cool.
So I just run as fast as I can, and I go back to the dojo, and I go to where people are gathered, which I assume is still next to Karen, and I am panting and kind of like, I don't know, mouse sweaty,
Yeah.
whatever that is,
Yeah.
and
I
I
see your little chest, like
little tiny mouse like lungs.
Yeah. The fluttering. Yeah.
And I say to them, quickly, I need men. A band of merchants has been captured by weasels and taken several of the merchants. We killed some of the weasels, but there are yet more. And if we are to accomplish our task and retrieve Karen's brother, someone else must go and save these poor mice. Please help.
Oh boy. Okay. I think one of the younger mice step up. Real quick. What is your friend's name? Again, Yuki.
oh, my friend Yuki. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Yuki volunteers and says like, I will lead some of the students here. Like it would be our honor.
Oh
right.
man, soft little Yuki.
Yeah,
Aw.
right. Like the passive one is the one who's stepping up to do it for you guys, and then they're like, go, like return to your friends. You have a strong important duty to accomplish, right? Cool.
Yeah.
So because you achieved that health test, I don't think it should count against time or anything like that because you really like pushed
I
yourself.
ran so
yeah,
fast.
you ran so fast.
Do I get a
You did
success for
you did
health?
the the mouse guard anime Naruto hands behind your back sprint with the dust dust kicking up behind you. And yeah, that's good. And definitely mark a success for your health test. Absolutely. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, so then I get some water and like maybe, I don't know, a piece of bread, and then I go back to running quickly through the forest.
Do you run with the bread in your mouth? That's like
Totally.
typical rushing anime stuff.
Yeah, with the toast in my mouth. Absolutely.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. Awesome. So we have one check left. So I assume we're going to, if we want, we can progress a little bit. We can say that we make it to Uda, right? And if you want, then at that point, and here's the tough part: you have one check left. You have to find this person, and you have to convince them. So, and that's kind of 2 checks. So, time.
Wait, no, he has 2 checks.
Oh, you have 2 checks.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to recover? Do you want to spend, in order to avoid spending time, trying to figure out asking people or greasing some mouse palms or something like that to find the brother, to find Jin, or what? Because I'm letting you know as a GM right now, if you do not spend a check doing something to try to find Jin, it is going to cost time.
Yeah, no, time is of the essence.
Yes.
As it were, right now. So, how should I spend it? Is there some sort of context in this place that...
So you're in a small little hamlet, right? Imagine a small little fishing village nestled up against a little serpentine river, or I guess a creek because it's mice. So you see, like, you went over, like you guys got crossed over this nice little, like, old rickety bridge into this small little town, into the market square. You see people selling fish and wares, people walking back and forth. There's a little, like, tea house and inn. It's a very quaint town, and like, that's about it. There's literally just, then the rest there's like a few, like, fisherman huts and stuff, and a couple piers and docks. There's not a lot going on in the town. It's very quaint, very small. Obviously, it's ideal for somebody who's like kind of reclusive, probably, to live around here, right? Mm-hmm. So you have no idea. This is a town you've never really been in. This is nowhere. This is like going to West Virginia, right? No offense to anyone in West Virginia, but right. You were in the boonies. Yeah. What are you gonna do to get people's attention to, like, where is this person, right? If you need help on stretch, I could give you some vectors that I think would be fair, but
I mean,
I'm totally interested in what you want.
I assume this place has some sort of like elder or like leadership figure, you know, someone
Totally,
who-
yeah.
So like rather than just asking random people for like this person we're looking for, let's just figure out like the center of authority.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, I think this would be a circles test then. This kind of dealing with authority, talking to them, and that sort of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my option. So I think that sounds like circles. If you want to deal with authority. Okay, so I think this is going to be an obtuse circles test. This is to basically get this is you trying to like get the leader to show you where. You don't have to persuade them so much as just get audience with the leader.
So am I getting help with this?
That's possible. People can help you.
100% I am helping.
Circles helps with circles.
I am sure, having trained in the dojo nearby, that I may have been to this town, you know, once before in my life.
I'm just really friendly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
What did you say the odd was, Eric?
2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you got a 6. Do you have a fate?
I think I do. Let me Yeah, I do.
You could spend that to re-roll that 6, make it explode, because otherwise you failed.
Yeah, I mean,
remember the 5 6s I got? Go.
Yeah.
All right.
Right? Exactly. Sometimes that shit happens. It's a lot of fun.
Giving you my energy.
Yeah. No. Okay. So
sorry.
you meet the governor, or not the governor. This town's super small, right? You meet the magistrate of the town, and you see he's a crooked little mouse, right? And he's like doing this to his hands. He's like, I think I could help you.
The whole time.
Right? And he puts out his hands, being like, I'm afraid I just can't quite recall where he is, indicating a bribe.
Yeah.
Right?
Do we have currency? Like,
yeah, this is what resources is for. Like, this is like your bag of coins, right? So, can you do me a quick little obtuse resources test for me?
Yeah.
People could help you as well, right?
Do I have resources?
I'll dip into my own mouse pockets.
Little mouse pockets.
So yeah, so just getting audience with this person is not enough. He needs money. He needs to be bribed, right?
Mm-hmm. You say up to?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you there's enough for him to stroke his little mouse chin and be like, yes, the recluse, the herbalist, you can find him. And he like points out his little tiny like meager window in the back, up this trail, go around the old the plum fields. You'll see a shack up there near the statue to I don't know, what would you call a shrine? A shrine, right? Near a shrine. There you will find him. And don't make any trouble here, Pear Clan.
Don't think we won't forget that you wouldn't just give us this information freely. We are not to be trifled with, and we will remember you, sir, if you ever need of help.
I'm like...
we will ask you to dig into your pockets as well.
Rosie's right. We are the guard. You can see that, right?
Ash just had this whole conversation with her hand on her sword like this.
All right. So I think we head off that way.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah, let's go to the Hermit. So that was one check,
and,
right?
Yeah, I think I just banned Henley accidentally. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we go up there to convince Jin, right? Perfect. So we go up to the cabin, right? And we see Jin. He's busy looking over. You see a bunch of freshly cut herbs and flowers all around. You see various concoctions and elixirs being made, half brewed, and sort of like something's bubbling in a cauldron right now. It's very aromatic. and he looks nothing like Kieran. He's their older brother, so he's absolutely a gray fur. He has a long, thin gray beard, while Kieran is strong. And even though Kieran's sick and frail now, there's still like a stature to Kieran that her brother Jin never had. He's almost anemic, right? He's very thin and frail as he's dealing with his implements. And I guess as you guys come in through like the little like cloth little door cover, he's like, this is no time for customers. As he turns around and he sees, and he looks around and he's like, samurai? Like, you guys are out of place, and
your sister would like to see you. She blurts out before
Straight to
anybody.
the point.
He snorts. Yeah, he snorts and says, "My sister. What does she want? Other than to play adventures with swords."
She is dying.
Like, yeah, we're kind of on a short timetable here.
He says, "Good riddance."
Ash grits her teeth, and you can see her like going for her sword once again.
Yeah. This would require a check to convince him. Do we have a check?
The only person
The
who
last
has a check
check?
The only check is Walen.
Yes.
Walen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this.
Okay.
Cool. So this is going to be a you're going to have to figure out a way to this comes down to persuading him, right? Your sister's dying, right?
What kind of
it's like
ability would that be?
in a different world, like if we didn't spend an hour doing setup, this could actually be a conflict of persuade and of social conflict. But we're not doing that. We're going to do a versus test. Okay. Yeah, this could be persuade. This could be manipulate, depending on how you want to talk to him. So let's just talk a little bit and then describe how you're doing it, right?
Hey, Eric. Assume I drew my sword and pointed it at this guy. Could I use fight?
No, that would just be manipulate, and I would give you supplies for it, though.
Damn it.
But he's
Walen has to be making the test.
Yeah.
So what is Walen doing here?
Okay, so
hold on. Walen does not have to do this test, right? Walen can donate the check to somebody else. That's an option.
Okay.
You can always give a check away.
I have 5 in Persuader.
Yeah,
I think that it's good that you try to do this.
And people can help, right?
This.
People can always help. So that's a thing too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I step forward and I'm like, look, Jin, it's Jin, right? Like,
I don't like strangers knowing my name.
Okay, well, a stranger didn't tell us your name. Your own sister told us your name. And in fact, my associate here, Ash, took a, I don't know what, a sword to the side. Was it, the weasel said swords, right?
Yeah.
Took a sword to the side just so we could get here to you at your sister's request. So maybe if you I don't know what's going on between you and your sister. Maybe if you could at least respect the fact that we got seriously wounded in order to get here, you could just give us the time of day. Can you manage that?
Why should I care? If you got injured and she knew my sister, well then clearly she wasn't a good student. As he stares at you.
Ash glares at her.
Yeah,
glares at
just
him and
staring at him.
Look, you pompous fuck! She's going to die. She's going to die in the next day or 2. You're coming with me, and you're coming right now.
All right, now we go to dice. All right, cool. That good.
Was my help, by the way.
Yes, that was great help. Thank you.
When you're doing that, I'm just like,
yeah, right. You slam it down. All right. He's gonna roll persuade.
So do we have to is that would that be a specific trait that you have to invoke to be helping, or is it just
it's like a skill test. Persuade helps. Just like we can look at the handout again. I don't remember exactly what helps persuade. Right. It's probably orator and manipulator. So
she would have to have a relevant skill.
Mm-hmm.
So it's persuader, it's manipulator, or persuader that helps.
Oh, yes. I don't have either of those.
So can she actually help?
Fictionally, yes, but by dice, no.
I have manipulator. It's fine. Never mind. I do have manipulator.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Then you can help with manipulate.
Okay. And what about Rosie?
and I can help with Persuader, and I'll just be like, calm yourself, Ash. And I look to Jin, and I'm like, you may not think so now, but your sister has dwelt with this guilt for a decade. It is her death wish to be reunited with you, and it costs you less than nothing to sit and listen.
All right, good help. Let's see
Okay.
this. So it's a versus test. My pool's set up. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's roll. I got 1 success.
Ha
You got 2 successes. You did it. You got him. Very well. And he's like, very well. I accept. I will see my sister. Let me grab my things. He grumbles. He bemoans having to go, and as he gets a pack ready to go with some things. And that's, I think, where we call the session. That was good. That was really good. That was awesome, actually. So let's.
Yeah, you need to stop exclaiming in the middle of our role play about how cool our role play is. It makes it
Stop
hard
being
to
so
roleplay.
good.
It makes it hard to roleplay.
I will stop. I will stop doing that. Guaranteed.
Thank you.
Okay. Great. Cool. So, at the end of the game here, we do a couple things just for experience. All right. And these are the last few steps. So the first things we want to do is this is how you earn Fate or Persona. Did anybody feel like they played up their belief? Their belief come into play? You're raising your hand. Explain the situation that you think your belief came into play.
My belief was no mouse left behind, and I think that I definitely made sure that came into play when we didn't just leave the tiny mouse people with the weasels to fend for themselves. We went and got help. So
Yeah.
no
Perfect.
mouse left behind.
Yep.
Are we doing each belief first? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just do everyone do beliefs.
I have a belief where the best answer is always found at the blade of my sword. And I didn't even question what those things were that were raiding the cart before I was already declaring that we
Need to do it. Yeah.
going to attack them. So
Yeah. With the weasels, absolutely. So yep. So far, you and Bluejay both earned Fate for that. So you earned a Fate point. And Colin?
Yeah, so my belief is currently it's not what you fight, but what you fight for. Which, like, just spoilers, I kind of think I'm going to change in the
Yeah.
future. So
That's
I mean,
the default one. So yeah.
Yeah. So I thought maybe you like picked that for this week or something. But just in terms of that, I did grapple with that sort of decision of supporting Rosie in sort of the morality of that situation.
Absolutely. The discussion and dialogue between what to do with help the merchant was spot on. What are we actually doing here?
Yeah. So
Cool. So you earned Fate. Did anybody? Let's talk about goals. Who completed their goal? Or who worked? If you didn't complete your goal, who worked towards your goal?
I mean, my goal was to make Jin meet with his sister, regardless.
That's good. That's good. Because we're gonna pick up next session with the return trip.
I would literally have brought him at sword point if he had
Yeah.
refused. Bundled him on my
Yeah.
shoulder and dragged him up there.
Yeah.
My goal was to learn why Ash is so quick to violence, and I don't think I know that yet. But I definitely think I worked on it.
We
I think so.
had a bit of a discussion where I think maybe that might have come up a little bit, just like that one little talk where it was like, "This is my duty, this is my honor." Like I
Yeah,
can't,
definitely. That
I
definitely
can't like
bears into it.
go. I can't go. But
Yeah.
quick to anger, maybe you're right. We haven't really delved into it.
Yeah. So you earned Fate.
I'm definitely
Working on it earns you Fate. Completing it earns you Persona.
Okay, so I earn a Fate for working on my goal.
Correct.
Okay.
Cool. Elf or Colin?
I didn't fill out a goal at the beginning.
Oops.
But I was like struggling with it, and then I forgot about it.
What?
No,
Okay.
just like so. Basically, one of the things I'm working towards is I think like Waylon's like gonna try to figure out what it really means to be a
leader.
like samurai. Well, I was gonna say a samurai like in a post like leadership world.
Yeah.
And sort of fashion that into a goal of some sort, like, you know, in an existential way. So I think I like started to play with that, but not in any like, you know, like substantial way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like to be continued.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So then you don't earn anything for it then.
Yeah.
Cool. So those are goals. The last thing is instincts. Did anybody perform the action or something that trigger for the instinct, do you think?
I draw my sword at the first sign of trouble, always,
Yes.
forever.
Yep. Fate point.
I definitely offered help when there was work to be done. So, I mean, that's like
Yep.
from
Fate
the
point.
get-go.
Yep. Colin?
Always consult my guard 1 when trouble arises.
Card. You never changed the name?
No. But I did sort of the thing about Ash is you don't have a chance to consult
Yeah.
before action is happening. But I did sort of defer in a couple of different situations to what you were doing, like when we first set out. And
Yeah. I definitely felt that whole like I'm sort of checking in with you, but you're already doing a thing sort of thing.
yeah, and I think like during the conflict, when you took charge of that sort of situation, that was kind of like, even though I'm patrol leader, it's like you go ahead and like figure out how we approach this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of that instinct.
Cool.
Cool. Awesome. So then the last two things, MVP. Who do you think was the most valuable mouse? This the player did the most crucial contributions to the patrol to complete their mission. The group as a whole decides who gets the persona point for this MVP. Only one player can earn it per session. Who do you think it was, guys?
I think it was Rosie.
Yeah.
What? I always
Yeah.
upvote myself. Come on. This is Overwatch
Yeah.
we're talking about here. I was
Yep.
definitely super great.
Rosie. Okay, Rosie MVP.
Persona?
Persona point for that. Workhorse. Sometimes one player carries the group through a lot of tough stuff. His character has all the right skills and makes all the rolls to keep things moving. Who the group decides who is the workhorse for the session. It cannot be both MVP and workhorse.
Okay.
Put your freaking hands down, Bluejay.
What?
I
So-
think without your persuaders rolls at the end and your circles and fortune and stuff, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So I think it should go to Walen.
Okay, Waylon. I second it. I second that.
Yeah, I will third
I
that.
can see an argument against it, but okay.
Okay.
Don't argue
Not
against
to-
your own self.
Not to
Just-
sell myself short.
Just dumping it on you. Accept our praise.
Yeah, so that's a persona.
Persona.
Perfect. Cool. And then the very last one is embodiment. This can go to more than one person, but not everybody. The player who best embody his or her character, their conditions, were they convincing about them, just basically who roleplay in the most compelling way, is embodiment.
I mean, Elf did a really good job of just being angry and upset all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Ash was intense. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some
That's
some
fair.
good roleplay there.
Yeah. Also, embodiment's always a really hard one to give out in the first session, as
Yeah.
we're trying on new clothes.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah,
So, but
for sure.
Elf was like, I don't give a fuck. Swords out.
That's just like Elf was the most
Elf. Yeah. Okay. Elf, I believe you get your persona for embodiment.
Sweet.
Yay, Persona
Yay, that's
for
it.
everyone.
Yeah, and totally chat, like I love it. And if there's ever any like suggestions for something like that, I would love to hear, like we love to hear that stuff as well.
Just backseat.
Just backseat us. Backseat us
Yeah.
all the time. It's super good. So
Don't backseat me, I'm perfect.
Yeah. That's true. She's flawless. MVP. You got MVP.
Any
You got play of the game.
Every time.
any session of anything where I get to yell angrily at an NPC is my favorite session.
Yeah, that was really good. I really liked how much you guys picked up everything.
Yeah, that was scary.
So, yeah. You guys are definitely going like even from where we started to where we ended, it's already leaps and bounds faster. And that's just how the game is. There's a little bit of a biting your teeth for the first one. But anyways.
Yeah, I want to point out that I haven't role played in like a long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. And since Adam is in chat, shout out to Adam for facilitating probably the last time I role played. So yeah, this was good. Awesome, like getting back into it.
It has been a very fun session.
Yes.
And it's nice to meet new role-playing people that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Colin, so.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Cool.
So, Bluejay, what do you do?
Win.
All
Sorry.
the time. Let's do outros. Let's do outros.
And then the song cuts in. All I do is win.
Yep. Anyway. Yeah, I'm Bluejay. I play video games on the internet. I also play role-playing games on the internet. Here now, I guess. Twitch.tv/roll20app and Twitch.tv/misclicks for the role-playing games. Two actually so far on my own channel, which is Twitch.tv/Bluejay. You can find me there. You can find me on the tweeters, Bluejay_712. And yeah, I'm pretty much always on the internet. So
yeah. Awesome. Colin.
Like I said in the beginning, I'm not one of you internet personality folks who have that presence and all the people appreciating your amazing roleplay skills. I lack those. But I really like to do it and like sort of, dip my feet into this amazing world when I get a chance. What's your faces you're making, Eric?
Says the dude with a Logitech C920 and a boom studio for a microphone with perfect acoustics.
I'm not a good role player.
Not a good role player.
Look, equipment, your tools don't make your...
True.
True.
But anyway, these things I have are not related to this particular pursuit, by the way. But anyway, I'm Colin Sunder on the internet, SVNDER. You can find me on Twitter, and sometimes on Twitch. I'll stream like once in a blue moon, like Twitch.tv/Sunder. Usually like late night, maybe semi-intoxicated Overwatch, something like that. So yeah, you can follow me there, and I just want to say thank you for getting me back in. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you are ready. Speaking of ready, Elf, what's up?
Hi.
Who are you?
Hi.
Why are you on my channel?
I'm trying to tell you, Eric. God damn it. Hi, I'm DistractedElf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf, where my first reaction to you will be to draw my sword and jam it straight through your chest.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. And I'm Eric. I'm Eric Fulgaris. I do role-playing game stuff like this all the time. You can find me here or at Saturdays at Stephen Lunkin's channel, where I play Pendragon, which is kind of like Mouse Guard, only not really at all. And then, so this is fun. I'm really happy we got to start this out. The game, I expect, I'm doing a lot more with the visuals in this game going forward now. Seeing like what we needed like more to see on screen. Chat, please hit me up if there's any like advice or anything like that throughout the game. I love the backseat stuff like that. Also, if there's anything being like, wait, what's so-and-so's belief? Remind me. I endeavor to make this game more visually accessible in terms of so you can pick up real quick any kind of references, things like that, so you can kind of look at as well while we play. Any extra context that we need, all those types of things. So if there's anything like that, let me know. Thank you guys so much. Chat, cast, this has been great. This was super fun. I love the role play. You guys are great role players, despite what some of you might think of yourselves. Because we all believe. So thank you so much, everyone. We're out of here. And take care.